Welcome to the Reddit iRacing League Season 1 review. This is your announcer, Cole Simmons, and together we'll be taking a look back at the summer 2013 opening season. We quite literally launched into this season during Week 1, when we visited the Summit Point Raceway, where several drivers found a way to break the ice by catching some air at the end of Turn 1. We ran the short configuration for this track, and the weapon of choice was the SCCA Spec Racer Ford, using the baseline setup. 16 brave drivers posted qualifying times, but in the end, it was Jesse Houston who took pole position with a qualifying time of 1 minute and 6.338 seconds. James Boujon and Andrew Coxis started second and third, respectively. The race was filled with wheel-to-wheel racing, as seen here when Daniel Hamann decided to take on James Boujon and Andrew Coxis 3 wide before turn 10 on lap 3, earning him 3rd place. On lap 7, Andrew Coxis had a lucky break when Jesse Houston had problems negotiating turn 5 and ended up taking a detour through the grass, finally finding a nice parking spot on a hill overlooking the track, giving Andrew the lead. Meanwhile, in 4th position, Dustin Beardy had a mid-race crisis when he went over the hill on lap 13, bumping him down to 11th place. On lap 20, a three-way battle between Thomas Ellison, Ivan Berrigan, and Patrick Casey turned sour when Ivan Berrigan spun out of the track, giving Ellison 4th place. However, only a lap later, Ellison's luck ran out when he collided with Jesse Patoka, who was recovering from a slide on turn 1. A fierce battle between James Boujon and Jordan Ward ended when Ward skillfully negotiated the inside lane on turn 10, earning him 2nd place. In the end, it was Andrew Coxis who would walk away with the win, leading 2nd place by a whole 8 seconds. Andrew led 14 of the 25 laps driven at Summit. Here are your top 10 overall standings. Andrew Coxis took an early lead with 25 points, Jordan Ward is 2nd with 18, and James Boujon 3rd with 15 points. In Week 2, we mixed things up with an oval race under the lights at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Thomas Ellison in car number 46 took pole position with a 31.5 qualifying lap. Austin Winter and James Boujon were gridded 2nd and 3rd during the rolling start. The race was scheduled to run for 50 laps. Disaster struck on lap 6 when Andrew Coxis tried to thread the needle but ended up making contact and losing control, causing a major pileup. David Browning tried to power through the smoke with terrible consequences. Andrew paid for his mistake when he was launched 20 feet in the air. Jesse Patoka also had a go at it, but with a great deal of luck, managed to make it through the carnage unscathed. Without yellow flags, the rest of the race remained relatively quiet as small pockets of drivers fought for position. A collision between Claudio Herreros and Patrick Casey occurred when Casey inadvertently wandered into Herreros' lane, sending them both to the pit for repairs. A pit stop was required towards the end of the race, which took some drivers by surprise. This time, it would be James Boujon who would stand erect on the podium, earning him 25 points. At the end of Week 2, Coxis and Boujon were tied for 1st with 44 each, while Ellison and Casey were tied for 4th with 22 points each. Week 3 took place at Summit Point, Jefferson, using the Legends Ford 34. Due to a mistake by league organizers, drivers had to use an oval setup which severely hindered right turning. Familiar faces started to take shape here when, once again, James Boujon, Austin Winter, and Andrew Coxis commanded the front of the grid. 15 drivers took part in what turned out to be a challenging car and track combination. Turn 1, the only major right turn of the track, was very challenging due to the setup being used. Patrick Casey lost control here on lap 2, giving Justin Criswell his spot. It wasn't James Boujon's day, who started the race in pole position, but ended up making 2 fatal mistakes which sent him all the way back to 10th place. Andrew Coxis finished 1st, giving him his 2nd win in 3 races, while Austin Winter and Jesse Houston finished 2nd and 3rd. The win here gave Coxis the points needed to take the lead in the overall standings, while James Boujon and Austin Winter tried to stay within striking distance of the title. Week 4 kicked off under foggy conditions in Japan at Okayama International Circuit. The Pontiac Solstice was the car at hand, which required some skill to manage its weight transfer through the tight turns. The standings leader Andrew Coxis did not attend this race, giving new faces a chance at victory. Steve Pearson stepped up to the challenge to claim pole position, followed by Jordan Ward and Austin Winter. The battle for first place was fierce, but in the end, Jordan Ward lost his back end, giving Austin Winter the number 1 spot by a narrow miss. James Boujon made a mistake on lap 5 when he lost control and went from 2nd to 7th place. A nasty collision between Dustin Beardy and Claudio Herreros on turn 4 took Beardy out of the race and Herreros heavily damaged. Meanwhile, James Boujon charged back through the field, passing 4 cars and finally settling in 3rd place for the remainder of the race after passing Ivan Berrigan on lap 20. Towards the end of the race, Jesse Patoka tried to brake late in an attempt to take 4th place from Ivan Berrigan, but ended up losing control and giving Patrick Casey 5th place instead. Austin Winter cruised to his first win of the season, followed by Jordan Ward and James Boujon. Despite missing this race, Andrew Coxis was still leading the pack. James and Austin were able to close in, challenging Andrew's leadership. For our second oval track of the season, we raced at Lanier National Speedway using the street stock car. Not surprisingly, Austin Winter, James Boujon, and Andrew Coxis led the grid during the rolling start at Lanier. While almost half of the race ran under the yellow flag, unfortunately for Andrew Coxis, the flag didn't go up during this incident that happened in the back of the field. Andrew drove nose first into stranded cars, destroying his vehicle in hopes for a win, as he was left in 9th place after repairs. The yellow flag did go up after this wreck. On lap 22, Jesse Patoka also ran into some bad luck when his rear end came up from under him and ended up hitting the wall and having to pit for repairs. Meanwhile, at the front of the pack, there were some close battles as Austin Winter and Steve Pearson managed to get past James Boujon and his distracting Hooters paint job. This left Austin in 1st, Steve in 2nd, and James in 3rd. The race only ran 87 out of the 100 scheduled laps due to the large amount of yellow flags. Austin took 1st, giving him a considerable advantage in the overall standings, while Steve Pearson and James Boujon finished 2nd and 3rd. Austin was finally able to take the 1st spot in the standings, while Coxis was bumped to 3rd place due to the unlucky accident. The last race of the season took place at Lime Rock Park using the Mazda MX-5 Cup car. This race was poorly scheduled over Memorial Weekend, which resulted in low attendance compared to previous weeks. In future seasons, we'll be more careful to schedule around holidays. Steve Pearson, Jordan Ward, and Jesse Patoka led the grid after qualifiers. In lap 1, Jordan Ward was taken off guard by the chicane configuration, causing him to lose control and hit the wall. He went from 2nd to 5th place. Likewise, Claudio Herreros also hit a sidewall when exiting turn 4, effectively ending his race. All in all, it was an easy race for Steve Pearson, who cruised to the first win of the season and earning him 5th place in the overall standings. Jordan Ward and Jesse Patoka finished 2nd and 3rd respectively. So, these are the final week standings. Congratulations to Austin Winter for being the Reddit iRacing League's first champion. Congratulations are also in order for James Boujon and Andrew Coxis, who finished 2nd and 3rd in the overall standings. Great job, guys. Thanks to everyone who participated in our first season, and we hope to see you there when Season 2 kicks off on Saturday, August 14th, 2013. If you aren't signed up yet, simply search for Reddit in the iRacing League directory, and you'll find us listed as the Reddit iRacing League. A special thanks to Jesse Patoka, Ivan Berrigan, Patrick Casey, and myself for making this league a reality and producing this video. See you on the track.